Nick Harkaway, thank you very much indeed for joining me on Book Zone. You come from a very literary family. Your father is the novelist Jean Le Carré. Was that a benefit or a burden to you becoming a writer?
It's actually worse than you think. My niece has got a book coming out. My sister-in-law has a second book coming out, which is very good. It just goes on and on and on. Was it a burden? No, you can't possibly complain about something like that. Did it make things different and occasionally difficult? Yeah, because apart from anything else, pretty much everyone in the book trade that I would want to submit my first novel to had changed my nappies when I was a kid, you know, because the trade is quite small, people move around, different companies and so on. So different people who have this kind of situation deal with it in different ways. I was reasonably just kind of like, hey, you know, this is the thing, let's talk about it briefly and then move on, and that was basically what happened.
I find it very difficult to put you in a box to define your genre.
I dislike boxes.
Good. I was going to ask you how you would define yourself.
With great difficulty. I don't really know the answer. At the moment, the first two books that I wrote were big, loud adventure stories with a philosophical, fantastical underpinning, and then my third book is more internal. It's about fatherhood. It's also an adventure. It's also political. You know, and then the one that I'm working on now is just mad, and I have no idea what books to put it in.
Well, you've now written one of the Doctor Who time trip books. It's an e-book. Tell us about Keeping Up with the Joneses.
So excited! I can't tell you. It's the phone call you never imagine you'll get is someone saying, "Do you want to write for Doctor Who?" You know, and granted, this is not the TV show, which you know obviously everybody watches or lots of people watch, but it is the Doctor nonetheless, and it's the real thing. And they said, you know, pick a Doctor, and I said, can I have David Tennant? You know, and absolutely that was fine. So, and for me, he's the Doctor who is the most wordy, the most wayward, and really the one that I feel most comfortable with. And so I got to do this goofy, discursive, digressive Doctor and put him into, you know, a kind of classic Doctor Who scenario where something very strange is happening and it's dangerous but also quite fun, and to work with that character, which is just awesome.
So what's the story?
Ooh, the TARDIS is trapped by some kind of leftover munition from the Time War, and he has to release it. And in order to do this, he's got to go into this what appears to be a Welsh town in the middle of the hills, and the solution in some way lies inside there. It inevitably is endlessly complicated and folded in on itself.
So you obviously watched Doctor Who before. Would you describe yourself as a Whovian? And what will they think of this book?
Well, so far the response has been really positive. I mean, am I a classic Whovian? Probably not. I'm less good at assigning myself to groups. I mean, we've already talked about I don't like boxes. But the story has pleased the audience so far. And I'm not obsessive about Doctor Who because I haven't watched some of the recent stuff, but I am really, really fond of it, and I did grow up watching Tom Baker and Peter Davison and so on, so I love the show.
Nick Harkaway, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.